everyone, and welcome to our flash webinar called Course Review and Pathway to Learning. My name is Lauren Rata, and I am one of CodeMonkey's customer success managers and trainers, and I'm so happy that you're here today. Be sure that while we're here today that you are keeping that conversation going by putting any information in the chat. So be sure to access that. So even though today here we're for the Course Review and Pathway to Learning, we just want to let you know that we have many other opportunities coming up. You can, if you would like to, go to www.codemonkey.com/webinars to check them out. But some of them that are coming up is next week, we have our technology courses, digital literacy and AI. We have then our admin dashboard and subscription management flash webinar, as well as one on reports and progress monitoring tools, so that we hope that you will join us. And I think Angie's throwing in the chat there that link to our codemonkey.com/webinar so that you can check all of those out and register today. We would love for you to follow us on social, no matter what platform you're on. So I know as an old former educator, we love to follow at CodeMonkeySTU, whether you're on Twitter or X, whether you're on Instagram, Facebook, or also on LinkedIn. We post things all the time, like new features and tools that are coming. Possibly other educators might be on there asking questions. So it's a great way to build your PLN, as well as we are relaunching our Facebook teacher community group. So also Angie will throw that link there in the chat, and you'll have this also in the recording in the description. We'd love for you to join us on that Facebook group if you are a Facebook user. Like I said, we're relaunching it here in the next month. It's a great way for you to connect and collaborate with other CodeMonkey educators throughout the world, to ask questions, to share lesson plans and resources. We'll also be on there, the customer success team and marketing, to help answer any questions you might have as well. So just a great new initiative that we're really excited about and hope that you'll join us. So let's meet the team. Like I said, my name is Lauren Rata. And I am one of CodeMonkey's customer success managers and trainers here at CodeMonkey. You can email me there if you need me. You can follow me there on Twitter as well as LinkedIn. I'd love to connect and collaborate with you. Also here, we have Angie Lintner, our other awesome customer success manager, who's been here at CodeMonkey for 3 years now. And also she's been a CSM for over 10 years. So she has a great, she's a great expert, and she's a great team member here, and she can answer any of your questions. She'll be here in the chat to kind of post any links that you might need access to, or answer any questions you have, and just to help guide and support us today on our flash webinar. So thank you so much, Angie, for being here with us. So let's look at our objectives for today. So this is a flash webinar, so it is quick, 20 minutes. We're going to have a lot of content, but also a lot of links for you to continue to explore later. And then, as always, reach out to us if you need some additional support. So first, we're going to look at our CodeMonkey course offerings and what we provide. There's a lot of different courses, and I know that you've probably had time to delve into just some of them, but we'll go over a little bit of each one to kind of make you feel comfortable, then you can continue exploring on your own. Next, we're going to explore our pathway to learning. So that's just our suggested pre-K through 8 guidance of where we think you should go. But as we know that you guys as educators know your students best, and so that you might take our recommendations and then make your best instructional decisions from that. And then also I'll show you how to access the coding curriculum map. Same thing, we have guidelines and suggestions for those, but to help guide you. But in the end, you're the professional and the educator, and you know your students, and that will help you to make the best fit decisions for your kids. And at the very end, we'll wrap up with a little Q&A time if there's any questions that we can answer here on the spot. So let's go ahead and get started. First, Angie's going to pop this link into the chat here as well. Also, it will be in the description notes if you're watching this recording later. So if you want to click on that link, and I'm going to click on it myself, it's going to take you to a new slide deck to kind of walk you through all of our course offerings. CodeMonkey is an amazing subscription because we have so many offerings to provide you. As you can see here, we have 7 full courses that support preschool through 8th grade, and sometimes even lower if your students already are little coders, and also moving it up into high school. If your students maybe need those foundational skills, we still see high school teachers using our coding curriculum. We have 2 additional offerings that dig deeper called Challenge Builder and Create Games that we'll walk through. We have 2 digital literacy units to help support those standards, as well as 2 AI units that came out that we'll look at. 9 mini courses that you can explore and use with your students, as well as each month we have new monthly activities that come out, more of a geared towards pre K-2 offering with Linus the Lemur, and then also continue with our game builder. We recommend that for 3rd grade and up, still block-based, but a little bit more challenging for students. So just another fun way to engage your kids in the classroom. And then also I do want to share that we are excited about, we're piloting our high school APCS course this year. So we'll get some feedback on that and get it going, and then a full launch in the fall of 2025. So that's another exciting offering coming to CodeMonkey for geared towards high school. So let's take a look at these slides. I'm going to go through the pathway to learning in just a second in more depth, but I think this is a good opportunity to go ahead and look at it as well. And so, like I mentioned, although we suggest these courses at these times for your students, you know your students best. And so just because they might be a 3rd grader doesn't mean that they're ready to start with text-based coding and coding adventure, because that could mean that they need to start back with our CodeMonkey Junior or Beaver Achiever with our block-based, because they just don't have those foundational skills in sequencing and looping quite yet. And so that will help if we start them here to guide them. But this is that basic path to just kind of show you in that sequential order. So we do recommend starting here with CodeMonkey Junior, which is our block-based, and Beaver Achiever, and then moving into our text-based offerings, additional lessons, and game builder and challenges, and then moving into our Python, as you can see here with our banana tails, and then our coding chat box as well. That's kind of how our coding curriculum works, and that gradual increase of those foundational skills and standards. So let's take a look at some of our offerings here. As you can see here, we are also on these slides if you want to click that link and follow along, or if you're visiting this later through the recording. These also go in sequential order of all of our courses. So we start here with CodeMonkey Junior. Each of these slides is going to support you with the title of the course. It has a description of what the course is, a little GIF just for fun here, so you can see how it works, the drag and drop tiles, and how the monkey celebrates once you've gotten all of your stars, as well as it has the ages so you can plan how many lessons and about how much time it will take you as a teacher to go through this with your students, as well as it will tell you the programming language. So like I said, each of these slides will delve into that. They get gradually more difficult and increase in rigor. So this now with Beaver Achiever is still block-based, as you can see, but now it's still engaging, but we recommend it for older students. And now this Beaver is trying to build a dam, then he'll move to building a cabin by the lake, and then he'll move to smoothies, and it gets more difficult with our foundational coding skills, but still same format with telling you about how long it's going to take, the objectives, how many challenges, and so on. Then moves to coding adventure and so on. So this is a great resource for you to move to kind of help you make those instructional decisions. So be sure you check that out. And as I said, it does go in that sequential order and gets a little bit more difficult with how we recommend you continue our courses. Something else down here I do want to talk to you a little bit about is our additional offerings. So the challenge builder here, as your students progress, when they hit coding adventure is when we feel like they're ready for these. And so this is where students can now demonstrate their learning on their own. So once you assign this, they can create their own challenges, as well as with the create games or the game builder, they can create their own games. And so as a old teacher, I see that as the true transfer of concepts and skills. If a student is able to then take what they've learned and create it on their own independently, that's that true transfer of learning. And so be sure to check those offerings out as well. And then it does get into our Python with banana tails and so on. But other things I would love to feature as well, as I talked about our 7 core courses, but we have those additional offerings as well that you're able to use in our subscription. We have with digital literacy, there are 2 separate courses. And as you can see in the images here, they are more lesson-like offerings where we start with learning. So this can be individual and you can assign it, or you could do this whole class as students are on their devices as well and follow along. But the Learn has more of the slides so that students can talk. They can read and listen to it, or the teacher can talk and guide the lesson. Then the next step is play. So during it, they interact with the content to ensure that they're understanding. And at the end is the review. So that formative assessment to see, are my students understanding this? And then you get the data as well. So there are 2 courses here within digital literacy, which is digital use and citizenship. And then our data science is built the same way, as well as our artificial intelligence. So be sure to check out those slides to see if these would be a good fit for your students with depending on their, it could be their grade level, but also it could be that their developmental level, if they're ready for delving into data science. We know that that research and stream is very important right now, or if they're ready for that artificial intelligence as well. So make sure you check those out. Like I mentioned, we also have 9 mini courses. So check these out as well as our newest one is a mini course on data is everywhere. So that's that data science course. So check that out for your students. We see teachers use these at many different times. Sometimes I've heard of our customers say that they use these to push students ahead. So maybe your students are on block-based, but they're on CodeMonkey Junior, but you have a friend that's really pushing forward and needs a little bit of a challenge. They're assigning like this Beaver Achiever mini course that's still block-based, but that student can go ahead and get challenged within those coding areas and move on to more advanced sequencing in those skills while those students are still working on that, as well as I see the opposite. Some students might come into your school or district and they don't have foundational skills in coding. And so you could offer and assign them this mini course, and then they could catch up maybe with block-based coding in a shorter amount of time with not as many lessons. And so then they can catch up with the class and move on to possibly text-based coding with Coding Adventure. So for a little bit of both, pushing students ahead or catching them up if they need some of those basic foundation skills. So check out those mini courses. As well as I mentioned our monthly activities. So these come out about every 6 weeks. Like I said, we have 2 offerings. We have K through 2 with Linus the Lemur that comes out that's themed, as well as we have still block-based, but more with the game builder. And it's we recommend this for 3rd grade and up. So check out those that are released, and they will always be the first available within your courses tab there in your teacher dashboard. And students can also be assigned them and explore them as well. So a lot of offerings. So let's get back to, we discussed looking at that pathway to learning. We discussed this a little bit, but like I just kind of shared with you, this is suggested. And so once you do have your students and you kind of know where they're at in coding, this is when we can use this curriculum map or this pathway to learning to make your best decisions. So use this, but also with the guidance of what you know about your students. And last but not least, I want to show you how to access our coding curriculum map. And this also will help guide you to find that just right course for your students. I like this as well because it's a little bit more detailed. Yes, it has the courses. Yes, it has the challenges, but it has the concepts and skills in coding as well as the standards. So let's check that out. I'm going to actually come out now and go into my teacher dashboard here so that you can see. So under so here's our courses tab. I just discussed and shared with you about all of our courses. This is how you can access them here, but as well as the teacher resources here. And then if you scroll down and go to the coding curriculum map here, if you click on it, it's going to download and open up for you. Here, there we go, so that you can access this. I love it because it's color coordinated and kind of helps to see where to start here with each course. So like I said, this is suggested using CodeMonkey Junior, and then each of those courses within there, the sequencing of loops, advanced sequencing, conditional loops, and then procedures. We've got that here, as well as it'll tell you more about how many challenges, lessons, give you more background information. Also, though, those concepts and skills covered, very important, as well as those standards that we're connected to. So we have the CSTA standards as well as the ISTE standards, which pretty much I have found almost every set of state standards for computer science and technology have been connected and tied and used, both the ISTE international standards and then the CSTA national standards as well to create and write those. And so you can check this out. But just like the other document, you know your students best. And so this is our guidance, but use where they're at and what they know about coding to help you make that best instructional decision. But as you can see, as you move through this, we have all of our courses and offerings laid out here, as well as even our Dodo Does Math Challenge courses as well, suggestions here with tied to those mathematical standards and practices. So another great resource for you. So we are kind of wrapping up our time today. Does anyone have any questions at the moment? I didn't see any there in the chat. Let's see. It looks like we've got all of our links. Thank you, Angie, for posting those. And you feel free to unmute too if you want to, if you're here live and want to speak. Okay, well, thank you all so much for your time and joining us. We would love to have you, whether you're able to join us live or possibly even just register so that you get the recording to you. Don't forget that next week we have Ty and Molly that are going to join us for our technology courses that specifically focusing on the digital literacy and AI courses. So that's September 4th, which is next Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think Angie's going to throw that link there in the chat if you want to register for it. Remember, we'd love to have you live, but we understand if you can't. And